Welcome, Trinidad and Tobago, to our News 4 report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited and the Ministry of Communications. I'm Joseph Lopez. Let's take a look at the headlines. Constitutional reform continues, this time in Sangre Grande. Tobago is at the top of the list for the Ministry of Science and Technology. And an update on Phase 1 of the San Fernando Waterfront project. In our top story, citizens of Trinidad and Tobago continue to feel a sense of inclusion and a social responsibility as the government continues to facilitate the national consultation on constitutional reform.
Residents of Sangre Grande got the opportunity to give their contributions towards the proposed constitutional reform. The commission, set up to facilitate the national consultation on constitutional reform, moved to the Sangre Grande Civic Center for the fourth of 17 such forums. Thus far, many suggestions have been provided, and Minister of Legal Affairs, the Honorable Prakash Ramada, has expressed his pleasure in the way in which the public has been responding to the consultations. The Honorable Minister explained that following the consultations, the information compiled would be presented to the public, at which point they can further express their concerns before a bill is placed before Parliament. He says while the People's Partnership government had several specific areas that it wanted to see reformed, including fixed election dates and referenda, the consultations are not meant to have a public debate only on these issues, but also allow citizens to present new ideas and opinions. Minister Ramada noted the inclusion of the rights of indigenous people and protection of the environment as just two of the contributions given by the public. He also stated the structure of the consultations were not rigid and that the constitutional reform is a work in progress that everyone can work together towards achieving. Nikolai Edwards, News 4.
The Prime Minister spoke during Wednesday's debate on the Defence Amendment Bill. Before the debate, she spoke on how this bill is expected to be a significant blow to the criminal elements in this country.
On Wednesday, the debate on the Defence Amendment Bill, which seeks to give the soldiers powers of arrest, will continue in the House of Representatives. Debate on the bill began in the Parliament on Friday. Prime Minister, the Honourable Kamna Persad-Bissessar, was unable to sit in during the debate as she was in Venezuela, where she attended the funeral of President Hugo Chavez. Addressing members of her constituency, the Honourable Prime Minister commented on the national topic, fully supporting her government's approach to tackling the issue of crime.
I was not here on Friday in the Parliament, but I understand the debate was very heated. We are minded to take some of those points on board that were raised in the debate, and let us see if we can arrive at consensus. Because we have 5,000 soldiers. Why can't we use some of them in the fight against crime? What is wrong with that? At the moment, SRPs are precepted. So why not soldiers? They are trained. They say they are trained to be killing machines. That is not true. Soldiers have always had the power under the Defence Act to work alongside police. But what they did not have was the protection that the police have. The powers and the protection and the privileges that you, when you're operated as a policeman, that you have. But the soldiers did not have it. And that's what all we are trying to do. To do what? To bring more personnel, more officers in the fight against the criminals.
The Honourable Prime Minister addressed several public concerns, which she says her government is ready to put systems in place to deal with.
Yes, there are concerns about checks and balances. We can look at that too. We intend to amend the Police Complaints Act so that we can allow the Police Complaints Authority, in the same way when a complaint is made about a police officer, you can get redress and a remedy there. We intend to amend that to allow soldiers who work alongside police when acting with police powers and functions, that they too can be dealt with by the Police Complaints Authority. So we put a check and balance. The other concerns that the soldiers are under the Minister of National Security, whoever he or she may be, whichever one, concerns, yes, we can deal with that too. We can make that reporting function to the Defence Council, which is a body of persons, rather report to one person. So there are ways that we can make this happen. And it is not, the reason we are doing it is not because we are angry people or spite or malice or ill will. It is because of our determination to bring more people, more persons, more officers in the fight against crime.
The Honourable Prime Minister will speak during Wednesday's debate and assures that she will be mindful of the contributions and concerns of others so that consensus can be achieved. She made the point that things cannot be expected to improve if the same methods are employed. Nikolai Edwards, News 4.
After the break, renovations to the Krapi Chima Community Centre. Stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. The community of Krapi Chima now has an upgraded and fully functioning community centre. Minister of Community Development, the Honourable Winston Peters, was on hand for the formal opening of the centre.
The newly opened Krapi Chima Community Centre is the 22nd such facility the government has recently opened. Minister Peters explains the drive to open so many community centres is because of the importance this government places on participation in community life and its benefits. The centre cost approximately $1 million to renovate and refurbish. It comes complete with a stage, a fully equipped kitchen, an auditorium, and an office of administration. The minister is appealing to the residents to take good care of the facility as it belongs to them.
Now that you are receiving this community centre, I want to appeal to all present and those persons who will be using this facility to take good care of it. I want to let you know that this is not the government community center. This is not a political party community center. This center belongs to you, the people of Krapi Chima, and by extension, the people of Trinidad and Tobago. This is your community center, and you have to have the resilience to make this place what it is supposed to be.
He is calling on the community and the national heroes who live in the area to use the community center as a resource to help develop the community.
In this area, there are a number of persons who can help with what I call people-centered development. You don't have to look far. You have indeed national heroes such as Carlos Green in the sphere of weightlifting. You have Ria Ramnarayan in both boxing and kickboxing. And you have Ryan Fredericks in football. And I'm sure that is only to name a few. They can all be part of the development of human resources in this area.
The Community Development Minister says Krapi Chima also has a number of attractions that can be used to encourage the development of the community. He says for this to be done, however, there must be dialogue.
Your Carnival Monday celebration continue to be one of the best in the country. You also have the Temple in the Sea and the Hanuman Murti at Orange Field Road, which is said to be the largest of its kind outside of India. And it also attracts tourists from all over the world to your area. These features continue to offer prospects of increased economic activities within this community. I know the resources of Krapi Chima are not limited to these few attributes, but as you have a new community center, I encourage you to meet and discuss ways which you can stimulate the human and social capital of this beautiful community called Krapi Chima.
Gregory McBurney, News 4.
Tobago and its people's information and communication technology concerns continue to be at the top of the list for the Minister of Science and Technology, Dr. the Honourable Rupert Griffith. Dr. Griffith made this clear as he visited the Minister of Tobago Development, Dr. the Honourable Delman Baker, at his Scarborough office.
Paying a courtesy call on Dr. Baker and his staff, Dr. Griffith says he is moving as quickly as possible to build the development of ICT on the island. The Science and Technology Minister says the first phase of implementation will see the launch of a TT Connect bus to be stationed in Tobago.
These buses will be located in various parts of Tobago, and that from those buses, Tobagonians could access any information on any portal that the government has as far as government information is concerned. They could readily access that. In addition to that, the THA as well as the Ministry of Tobago Affairs will also, Tobago Development will also add information to those services so that the services provided here can also be accessed at any point of presence in Tobago. So it doesn't matter whether you're in Roxborough, Goldsboro, or in any part of Tobago, whether in Bonaccord or in Scarborough, you will be able to access the information just as fast and effective as anybody, any place in Trinidad and Tobago.
Minister Baker reveals there are imminent plans to establish an ICT project in Tobago.
We at this ministry have gotten the approval of Cabinet to set up the Human Capital Development Committee, which has as part of its remit setting up the ICT centers in Tobago. I now have a good partner, the Ministry of Science and Technology, in addition to the THA, for who I'm advised is also in agreement with the team in having these centers effected in the shortest possible time.
The Tobago Development Minister emphasizes that the lack of such a project can have a seriously dangerous effect on two of the island's greatest intangible assets, its tourism image and its education system.
We at the Ministry of Tobago Development saw the need to ensure that Tobagonians have as much access to the internet, to computers, to e-business and e-technology as their counterparts in Trinidad. It therefore is our primary responsibility to ensure that we lift the levels and the standards in Tobago as soon as possible if we are to make this island truly competitive. In addition to that, it's a tourist destination. And one of the things tourists look for when they come to an island like Tobago is to ensure that they can still connect to their peers and their businesses abroad, and information can be moved very quickly if the need be. This is our chance in Tobago to ensure that we move this island forward in a meaningful way. And initiatives like the laptop in Trinidad would find greater meaning if when our students leave the school compound and they get to their homes, they are also able to connect with their peers and their colleagues and the libraries from wherever they live. And those are the challenges that we face, and those are the challenges we wish with the Ministry of Science and Technology to treat with urgency.
Speaking further on the ICT centers, Minister Griffith says the centers will be built in both Trinidad and Tobago.
We hope to establish, we are establishing 6 centers by August. 5 of them will be in Trinidad in various parts and 1 in Tobago. And we are waiting a final decision with the THA and the Ministry of Tobago Development to inform us where that center would be established.
The centers will be customized to suit each community, and the information uploaded to the portal will be based on the community's needs and the information they require. Gregory McBurney, News 4.
Up next, our sport report. Stay with us. Welcome back. The Sport Company of Trinidad and Tobago is fully supporting the Success Laventille Secondary School in its anti-bullying campaign, Do Beat Up. It is hoped that the program's success will be replicated in other youth-serving organizations. And if the Minister of Sport has his way, it surely will. Wayne Cunningham has more on the Minister's presentation at Success Laventille.
Success Laventille, make some noise!
The students of Success Laventille Secondary School were on the edge of their seats as they listened to Sports Minister Anel Roberts expressing his support for their anti-bullying program, Do Beat Up.
So when you say do beat up, we mean it. Not only do beat up physically, but do beat up meaning study yourself study your God, study your discipline, and when you succeed, help others along. And that's why this campaign is one of the best I have ever seen. And we will continue to support Success Laventille, to support the children, to support your views, to increase the level of participation here in Laventille.
The minister shared a personal story of triumph with the students.
In 1980, just to give you a story, because when people tell you you cannot do something, or when people bully you and tell you you do not belong, you must fight harder to show them that you belong. In 1980, I won't tell you how old I was the first swimmer of color to make a final in the English National Championships. We went up to Coventry in England. Myself, my brothers, my mother, God rest her soul, and my father. And when we went into this huge arena, you could make out my mother and father easy. They had 10,000 people in the stands, but you could pick out my mother and father one time, because they were the only people with color in the whole building. Understand that? And all them people watching me and my parents, like, what are you doing here? This is not for y'all, this is for us. Well, the 200 freestyle came. 165 swimmers, 164 looking like them, and one looking like me. And though beat up, I bust all their throat.
The minister encouraged students to ignore negative stereotypes.
So they tell us in Success Laventille that we ain't good, we ain't bright, we come from a rough area, we could only fight. Tell them, don't beat up. Listen to the sweet pan. Listen to the world champion coming soon. The next world champion in boxing. Listen to our football team, our teachers, our students, and each one here. Make sure and let them know that success could come from success, and this school could be the best school in the entire country. So don't beat up. And one by one, we will help each other. Y'all will help me, I will help you all. The advisor to the minister will help you. The boxing and advisor will help you. Your principal, your teachers, whatever you need. Once you are working hard, showing discipline, showing passion, and performing well, you will have the support of all of us. So keep it up, make some noise, and don't beat up. God bless.
Wayne Cunningham, News 4 Sports.
More news after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. The city of San Fernando is on the path towards development, and at the heart of it is ensuring a balance between nature and business. His Worship, the Mayor, Councillor Dr. Navi Murdali, says such plans fall into a wider outlook of creating a green, eco-friendly city while providing comfortable and new spaces for its people.
For years, King's Wharf San Fernando has received a bad rap as a sore spot in the city. Located south of the Abattoir, this serene location of sun, sand and sea has been one of San Fernando's best-kept secrets. But through San Fernando Mayor Dr. Navi Murdali, all this stands to change as he looks to remove this stigma through the development of the city's waterfront. The area, which spans across over 2,600 feet, will soon be converted into a recreation and entertainment zone. So far, Phase 1 of the project has commenced with the building of the 400-feet breakers. Mayor Murdali explains the phases of the project.
We have started a beautification project as part of the overall waterfront development. What we have started to do is put down the riprap or water breaker, and we have already completed 400 feet of that riprap. And now we are standing right now where we want to put some concrete pavers and really develop this entire area with nice lighting, some food kiosks, as well as benches. We want to put down bins, a security area, toilet facility, and so forth. So this entire area is the proposed site for the San Fernando Waterfront and the boardwalk. The entire project is really funded by the San Fernando City Corporation, but additionally we are working with the Ministry of Planning, where they're conducting a feasibility for the overall waterfront development. And that is really to include the medium to long-term planning for the entire area.
Creation of spaces like these seek to restore the pride among San Fernandians, which starts with the beautification process. Another area that has been targeted as an area of enhancement is Harris Promenade. The walkway is one of the busiest zones in the city, seeing hundreds of pedestrians daily. Providing a safe, comfortable environment for commuters is all part of creation of beautification zones in the city.
We have 200,000 people who pass through the city of San Fernando on a daily basis. So I'm sure they were very happy for the improvement in Harris Promenade and the whole beautification. We've also put 24-hour security on the promenade, so I'm sure people feel much safer to use the facility. The eventual plan, as I said, is to put some benches and to also put some internet Wi-Fi so that persons from the nearby schools, persons who have laptops, iPads and so forth can come and sit down on the promenade and they can surf the internet as well.
Situated in the heart of the promenade is the amphitheater. Initially created as a space to showcase talent and host meetings, will soon be a hub for cultural activity once again.
The theme of really the beautification was really to create a cultural space as well, and we have used the amphitheater very effectively. Over the Christmas period we used it as for the Mayor's Parang. For Carnival we also used it for many of the shows, outdoor shows, especially the Kaiso shows. So we have actually effectively started to use the amphitheater again as a cultural space. And of course, you know, we have tried to keep the place clean, so we have put down 80 bins in and around the city to ensure that persons have a receptacle for their waste.
Such areas fall into wider plans of creating green zones as well, aimed at providing nature-balanced areas in the midst of a city like San Fernando, known for business, services, and soon relaxation.
Flat rock has definitely been used by many San Fernandians, and people come from all over to use flat rock. And we're really trying to now beautify this entire space, make it a green space. You know, our pledge was to make San Fernando a green city, so this is all part of it.
From simple projects like cleaning up to beautifying spaces, all these fit into long-term plans of attracting people back to the city of San Fernando. Kimberly Ramkalawan, News 4.
And that story brings us to the end of our News 4 report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited and the Ministry of Communications. I'm Joseph Lopez. Thank you for watching.